Find your passion, chase your dreams, do something you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. But now, it feels like all I do is work.
I learned the hard way that you can't make everyone happy, even when they love your work. They'll have their own suggestions, their own expectations, and sometimes they'll try to take control of everything.
I remember my first client, early morning shoots, rush home to edit, get them the content so they could use it that week. And it was chaos. Honestly, I wasn't even proud of what I was making because I was in such a rush. And it was at that time I realized this was simply a lot more than just doing what I love.
There's this one shot, a pint glass at Say Went Brewing. The lighting, the angle, it was perfect. And I thought, this is it. This is what I was meant to do. I was completely sucked into editing. The power to take a photo and completely change the mood just by adjusting colors. It was like magic. I could spend hours tweaking tiny details, chasing the perfect look. And honestly, photos felt easy. Video, that was another beast entirely. Every little win felt massive. My first great shot, my first real client, my first video that actually looked good. I kept thinking, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to do. Somewhere along the way, the work started feeling different. The passion was still there, but the pressure was growing. The work became bigger, the clients became more demanding. I was juggling multiple projects trying to keep everyone happy, and for a while, I told myself this was fine. This is what success is supposed to look like, right? But deep down, something was off. I didn't want to admit it, but this didn't feel the same anymore. The work kept piling up, the clients had more demands, and I was stretching myself thin trying to keep everyone happy. At first, I told myself this was just part of the process, but slowly, I started noticing something different. I wasn't excited anymore. That's when I realized something no one ever talks about. The moment passion becomes work, it changes everything. It stops being about creating and starts being about delivering. It's not about what I want anymore, it's about what someone else wants from me.
I used to create for myself, but now every project came with expectations, revisions, and deadlines. I realized it wasn't about creating anymore, it was about paying the bills. When you have to force creativity, it doesn't feel creative. And when you have to keep going, even if you're drained, that's when the burnout hits. It wasn't just work, I was drained all the time. I spent a lot of time editing, and if I wasn't editing, I felt bad, like I should be editing. I saw other photographers and creators doing so well. It was like they had it figured out. And here I was struggling to keep up and even figure out if I belong.
I kept pushing. I kept telling myself, just get through one more project, one more client, one more edit. But the harder I pushed, the emptier it felt. I had spent so much time chasing my passion that I didn't even realize I wasn't enjoying it anymore. Losing a client hurts, emotionally, financially, it just does. And what made it worse was that I had already adjusted so much trying to make them happy, trying to make things work, and yet I still lost them. Maybe it wasn't my work, maybe it had nothing to do with me at all, but when it happened, it forced me to take a step back and ask myself, what am I actually doing here? I need to get back to what made me happy in the beginning. That's what got me here. That's what made my work stand out in the first place. I mean, people recognize my photos when they see them. That's one of the biggest compliments I could ever get. And somewhere along the way, I let that slip. I used to think passion was everything, that it would always be enough to keep me going. But the truth is, passion doesn't drive the wagon. It's just the fuel. And if you don't manage it right, that fuel runs out. I have to change how I work, not just for clients, but for myself. I need to guide them into trusting me, to remind them why they hired me in the first place. They came to me because of what I do, because of what I've done. And if I let them change how I work too much, then I'm not really creating anymore. I'm just following orders. I don't have everything figured out. I still have a lot to learn. And honestly, I don't know exactly what's next. But what I do know is that I need to refocus, to keep progressing, to move forward on my terms. If you're feeling like this, just know you're not alone. It's okay to struggle with the thing you love. It's okay to step back, to adjust, to find a new way forward.